Good morning, Impression Hall. We're coming to you this Tuesday on the 11th of November, bringing you Morning Matters because your morning's matters get to the stories that matter today. Typhoon Uwan has exited the Philippine area of responsibility. However, tropical cyclone wind signals remain in effect for several parts of Luzon due to the continuing threat of strong winds. According to the Office of Civil Defense, Pangasinan was the most affected by Super Typhoon Uwan, experiencing the region's worst flooding. We'll get an update on the situation from Pangasinan Governor Ramon Guico later on in the show. In other news, there is no confirmation of an arrest warrant for Senator Bato de la Rosa. That's according to the International Criminal Court. The ICC clarified that verified updates are only released through official channels, adding that the only open case right now is the one against the former president. Welcome to our program, Morning Matters, where we talk about the issues you need to know for the rest of your day. Now, first in the agenda. Typhoon Uwan maintains its strength as it moves northward outside the Philippine area of responsibility. Now, its center was last spotted at 365 kilometers west of Calayan, Cagayan. Uwan may re-enter PAR tomorrow evening as it makes landfall over the southwestern coast of Taiwan. It is forecast to continue weakening into a severe tropical storm. Signal number 2 is still up over Batanes, Cagayan, including Babuyan Islands, Apayao, Abra, and Kalinga, as well as in western portion of Mountain Province, northwestern portion of Benguet, Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, and the northern portion of La Union. While these areas now flash on your screen are under signal number 1. One person was killed in a flash flood in Catanduanes following the onslaught of Super Typhoon Uwan. Governor Patrick Azanza reported that 63,995 residents, or 18,287 families, were forced to evacuate due to intense winds, torrential rains, and storm surges. He said the evacuations saved many lives, particularly in coastal communities. Azanza added that some barangays experienced flooding from waist deep to roof level. Let's now check the situation in Alabay following the onslaught of Super Typhoon Uwan. We have News 5 and One News cameraman Mac Ortiz. Magandang umaga sa iyo, Mac. Kamusta ang lagay ng panahon dyan sa Albay? Nasaan ka ngayon?
Great, salita ko ngayon sa Highlands, sa Meligaspi. Medyo mas maganda na yung panahon ngayon kumpara nung mga nakaraan. Ito nga, medyo mainit na dito. Yung background ko ngayon, ito yung downtown ng Legazpi. Ito mismo yung town. Makita nyo, medyo mas mainit na. Mas, kumbaga, malayo na dun sa 2 araw after ng bagyo. Problema lang dito, Gretch, gaya ng sinabi ko kagabi, ano pa rin, wala pa rin kuryente sa ibang, mostly sa part ng Albay. Kaya kumbaga yun ang inaharay ng mga yung establishments, yung mga nasa restaurant, saka ibang business area.
Hindi pa sila makabalik sa mga negosyo. Pero kagabi parang sinabi mo mga 8% pa lang yung...
6%.
6%. Sa ngayon, ano na? May update na ba doon?
Patuloy pa rin na sinasabi ng Alego na baka mas maging dito mas
babalik
marami pa yung tawag dyan
mare-restore na linya.
Ma-restore na linya kasi nung umigo tayo kanina, marami pa rin kapatid natin sa Alego na yun inaano yung kable ng kuryente, tapos yung mga natumba. Hopefully sana mas marami yung mas matuloy.
Marami ba nagsitumbahan ng mga puno, poste dyan na kung mailalarawan mo yung hagupit ng Super Typhoon Uwan dyan sa Albay? Ano yung pinaka malalang nang nangyari dyan?
Sa experience yung Grace, kasi taga rito ako malakas yung hangin nung experience ko yung bagyo. Tapos nung bagyo, galing tayo ng proper ng Legazpi, syempre mas malapit yung Catanduanes doon sa mismo mas malakas. Pumunta tayo doon sa first district. Yung end kasi ng first, yung end kasi ng Tabaco, yung kasi yung port, papunta na sa Catanduanes, and from Santo Domingo, Makakay, Malilipot, and Tabaco, nadaanan natin yung mga nagbagsakang puno, yung mga debris ng, konting debris ng lahar galing doon sa Mayon, na kung saan may ibang part ng bayan ng Didong, saka bayan ng Makakay na nag-overflow yung lahar doon sa mga bridges. Tapos, tawag dito, pagdating naman natin dyan sa part ng Tabaco, yun, doon talagang malakas yung lalo na nung andun tayo sa part na malapit sa may dagat.
Oo. Oo. Pero dyan sa Legazpi, hindi na nila pinoproblema ba yung lahar? Sa Ginobatan kasi, yun ang pangunahing problema nila. Pero dyan sa Legazpi,
Actually, dito sa Legazpi, meron din dito, kasi may mga barangay dito sa Legazpi na nasa danger zone ng Mayon, like barangay Mabilit, barangay Bunga, kasi meron yan, 6 kilometer, 7 kilometer, 8 kilometer permanent danger zone. Actually, itong mga areas na to, ang problema kasi dito guys, gaya na sinabi ko kahapon, may deposit kasi yung ngayon eh. Pag malakas ng ulan, ang tendency niya, lalambot yung lupa. Babagsak talaga yung lahar. Alam din sa mga area, parang may circumferential road. Yung sinasabi ko mga barangay. Nadaanan natin yung Gretsch, nung bago tayo pumunta dun sa first district. Yung mga barangay na yun, yung barangay Mabilit, Bunga, Awa, and Buyuan.
Oo, anong itsura ng mga barangay na yun? Pareho ba dun sa mga kuha mo sa Ginobatan na yung lubog sa lahar yung mga kalsada?
Hindi naman, mas minor lang Gretsch yung nandito sa part ng Legazpi. Iba yung sitwasyon diyan sa part ng Ginobatan.
O, kamusta naman ang cleaning operations dun?
Pagdating namin doon, kahapon, mga 10 ata, mga 10:30 ata. Continuous, salubungan yung nagbabakho eh. Kasi kita naman doon sa kuha sa drone, on both ends, hinahakot nung backhoe ba yung backhoe, tapos nilipat agad doon sa truck para mailipat. Tapos, ano tawag dito? Sakto, habang nag-shoot tayo doon, may dumating na mga evacuees. Nag-decamp na sila. Pero sabi kasi nung Apsi mo, pwede nang mag-decamp, pwede nang umuwi, as long as yung uuwian mo, walang baha, safe ka. Yun yung sabi sa atin ng Apsi mo.
Pero itong lahar flow na kiniklear nila, gaano ba kadelikado yan sa kalusugan?
Ito kasi, nung natuyo siya, di ba? Natuyo. Masakit siya, yung alikabok, masakit sa
Baga, oo.
Oo, masakit. Makapal to guys siya, yung extent na yan na nakita natin sa drone, siguro yan, yung stretch niyan, yung haba niya siguro, nung nakarating dun sa may kalsada, is siguro mga more or less 300 meters. Tapos, yung kapal niyan, siguro mga 1 meter. Makapal. Makapal yung nakita natin sa, yung hinakot ng
ano ang kabuhayan ng mga tao dito, Mac, sa barangay na ito? At siguro meron ka bang tala dyan ng mga residente kung iilan ang nakatira dyan at apektado niyan?
I cannot, di ko ma-bring into details, pero ang alam ko, ang mostly kabuhayan dyan ay, yan sa may slopes ng Mayon ay pagtatanim. Konting background lang guys siya kasi itong Mayon, pag pumutok siya, di ba? Sobrang fertile ng lupa niyan. Kaya dyan ang pinaka-best ng tanim ng agricultural na ng mga pananim. Kaya kumbaga, yun talaga yung kabuhayan mostly ng mga residents around dun sa Mayon.
So, pagkatapos ito, siguro yun din, no? Maaari na sila, no? Pagka na-clear na yan, mga gaano katagal kaya bago pwede ng taniman ulit yung lupa?
Siguro, more or less, Ah, if I'm not mistaken, siguro kahit mga after siguro mga 3 weeks or 4 weeks pag
Oo,
medyo maganda yung panahon, ha?
oo, oo. Okay. Napuntahan niyo ba diyan yung mga evacuation center?
Ah, prior dun sa bago pa siya mag-hit si ano, si Owan, dinaanan natin yung ano, yung isang bayan ng sa may Pulangi Gymnasium ata yun. Marami din doon na ano ng mga evacuees. Yun naman, tatanungin mo kung ano yung mga kung ano yung mga hinaing nila. Siyempre, malapit ka sa ilog, malapit sa dagat, malapit ka sa area ng Mayon. Siyempre, dahil yung mga tao takot na, kumbaga, sanay na, mas gusto nila na pumunta dun sa safe na lugar kaysa pagdating na, kasi alam na nila sorry, mag-evacuate na sila, tapos hindi sila umayag, mahihirapan na yung mga rescuer na on that moment ng bagyo, pupuntahan pa sila.
So, kumbaga, nag-voluntary evacuation na din. Oo, oo.
Actually, Glitch, maganda yung ano, yung naging move ng ano dito ng ABSI mo kasi kung tinanong natin sila kung ba't zero casualty kasi maganda raw yung ano nila, yung coordination with the barangays, with the LGU regarding dun sa ano preemptive tsaka forced evacuation. Kaya ganun. Kaya no
APSI
casualty
mo,
dito sa Albay.
ang binabanggit mo, APSI mo, yan yung Provincial
Albay,
Public Safety, Albay Public Safety.
Emergency Management Office.
Ayun, nakuha na natin. Kung
Yun
ano
din
yun.
nabanggit nung unang live.
Okay, Mac, meron bang mga napaulat dyan na fatalities, injuries, o missing pa rin sa probinsya?
As of now, Gretch, wala. Alam ko lang na no casualty. Pero balikan ko din dyan sa details na yun.
Oo, tama nga. Sa aking nababasa rin, zero casualty ang Albay. At mukhang yung magiging challenge na lang dyan ay yung pagbabalik ng ng hanap buhay. Ano bang inaaray ng mga residente dyan at nakakwento nila sa iyo?
Siyempre, kuryente.
Yun pa rin.
Yun pa rin. So, kuryente pa rin. Siguro, tawag dito, siguro yung mga ibang mga ilog na medyo yun, ayusin siguro. Dun sa may mga malalapit sa sa may area ng Mayon.
Okay. Mukhang magandang balitang hatid mo ngayong umaga. Ikain mo kami dyan na maanghang. O taga Albay ka pala. Bicolano din ako eh. Oo. So, ikain mo kami dyan ha. Oo. Maraming salamat, Mac, sa iyong report.
Miss Mabalos, Grace. Miss Mabalos.
Sa paglalarawan sa atin kung kamusta na ang ating mga kababayan dyan sa Legazpi, Albay, pati na rin sa buong probinsya. We have News 5 and One News cameraman Mac Ortiz. And up next, the Office of Civil Defense reported that Pangasinan suffered the most severe flooding due to Super Typhoon Uwan. All that and more when Morning Matters returns. Keep it here. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here in One News. The Office of Civil Defense reports that Pangasinan bore the brunt of Super Typhoon Uwan, suffering the worst flooding in the region. President Bongbong Marcos led a situation briefing at the PSC Command Operations Center on Monday to assess government response efforts. More than 426,000 families were evacuated as part of preemptive measures. The president has directed DSWD and Department of Health to sustain aid in evacuation centers and ordered the DPWH to begin road rehabilitation immediately. And for the latest in Pangasinan, we have on the show Governor Ramon Guico III. Magandang umaga po sa inyo, Governor.
Good morning, Gretchen.
Ay, una ho, help us understand why Pangasinan has been the hardest hit from Super Typhoon Uwan. That's according to the OCD. Kamusta po ang ating mga kababayan dyan?
Yes, Gretchen, may I correct you on that? The number of individuals who were evacuated coming from 35 LGUs who did preemptive evacuation was only about 24,000 individuals from 7,000 families. So I'm just correcting the data presented by the OCD.
Okay. So ito po yung sa Pangasinan po specifically?
Apo, sa Pangasinan.
25,000 in evacuation centers?
24,000.
24,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Ano po ang mga naging hamon dyan sa Pangasinan ng
dito
dala
po,
ng Super Typhoon?
Expected naman po yung napakalakas na hangin. But, there are 4 LGUs who were affected not only by winds but by storm surge incidents. Tapos nasabayan pa po ito ng high tide. Ito po yung Lingayen, Binmalay, Dagupan City, and San Fabian. So, yung really affected.
Dahil po sa storm surge?
Because of the storm surge at nasabayan po ng high tide.
Oo. Ito po yung mga coastal areas po yung nabanggit po ninyo?
Yes, yung mga coastal areas na nasa, geographically, nasa low-lying areas sila. Kasi marami pa po kami coastal areas sa Western Pangasinan, pero mas mataas yung kanilang lugar. Kaya hindi po sila ganun ka-apektado.
Okay. When you say affected by the storm surge, ano po ang damage ng mga barangay na yon?
Well, yung baha. Nung kasagsagan po ng bagyo, talaga pong tumaas yung tubig and people have to be evacuated. Sila po yung bulk nung in-evacuate po natin nung kasagsagan po ng bagyo.
Pero sa mga kabahayan, meron po bang mga nasirang mga bahay?
As of 5 a.m. po, ito yung report, meron pong mga 3,000 po na reported na damaged houses at saka yung totally damaged na, yung talagang natumba na, mga 349 as of 5 a.m. We're getting more reports as the day goes on.
Kamusta naman ho ang mga pagbaha? Kasi I'm reading now a report that says na yung tubig mula po sa Aurora at mula po sa Isabela napunta sa Pangasinan. Tama po ba?
Opo. Ngayon po namin nararamdaman yung pagtaas ng tubig sa mga ilog tulad ng Sinukalan River. Ito po yung galing sa mga uplands. So, yung mga tubig po na galing sa taas, ngayon na po bumababa dito sa amin.
Okay. And
manageable pa naman po.
Gaano po kalalim po yung mga pagbaha?
Well, wala pa naman po sa critical level ang mga pagbaha. So, continuous na monitor po namin. Katulad po dito sa Sinukalan, ang critical is 7 meters. Nasa mga 6.5 po ngayon. No? Like dito po sa Bued River, which is another major river, 7.8 ang critical level, nasa 6.5 po ngayon.
Okay. So, ito po yung laging nangyayari tuwing may ulan po dyan. Bagsakan po talaga ang mga bayan na yun.
Mabuti na lamang po, hindi habagat, no? We were expecting that there will be more precipitation. Pero mabuti na yung absorptive capacity naman ng ating mga lupa ay nakapagpahinga mula sa ulan. Kaya yung
Oo.
mga ulan na dinala ni Uwan ay mabilis din nag-subside.
Anong rivers po ito, yung pumapalibot dito?
Yung pong Sinukalan, no? Yung Buwad River, tapos yung perennial po na binabaha dyan, yung Marusay River ng Kalasyaw. So, 8 feet po ang critical level niya. Ngayon po, nasa 6.6 feet po ang kanyang current level ngayon. So, manageable pa po naman. As of 5 a.m. po ito, today.
Oo, malapit din ho yan doon sa may Lingayen Gulf, ano? Ano po
Opo,
yung mga barangay, ilan po barangay affected nito mga pagbaha?
Hindi po natin nasabi sa barangay, by municipality po tayo. So basically, yung tinamaan po talaga because of the storm surge and high tide ay yung apat na areas po that I mentioned.
O, yun, nabanggit nyo. Okay, so sa ngayon, meron po ba tayong reported fatalities, injuries, or missing?
Wala pong reported fatality, no? Wala pong reported. No? May mga minor injuries lang na nangyari dahil nagmumotor, natumbahan ng kahoy. Hindi naman direct na tumbahan, pero you know, yung mga accidents na nangyari po.
Okay, and what would you credit this to?
The preemptive evacuation has been very successful because it was done by 35 LGUs. And because of that, wala pong naging fatality.
Oo, yun din nga po yung kanina sa report namin dito sa Albay, ano? Mukhang nakapaghanda ang karamihan para dito sa Super Typhoon Uwan.
Nakapaghanda po.
Oo. Pero ano naman po ang damage to crops and agriculture?
Ito po, ongoing pa lang, no? They have reported to us that 70 to 80% of palay and corn have been harvested already. Yet, ang damage po, ito pa lang yung current as reported today, estimated at 418 million pesos sa agrikultura. And for infra, kasama po ito yung mga tulay, mga government facilities, buildings, at mga kalsada, mga 68 million pesos po ang estimated damages as of today po.
For infrastructure?
For infra, yes, for infra.
Oo. Oo. Kamusta naman po mga eskwelahan? Meron din po akong nabasa na meron din pong hindi na mapasukan na damage din po nitong Super Typhoon?
Well, we'll get reports pa po doon sa mga damages po sa mga eskwelahan. Hopefully, we'll get them today. Pero definitely may mga reported cases na po na damage po ng mga classrooms.
Okay, so sa ngayon, yung mga pamilya na nasa evacuation center, kailan po kaya sila maaaring umuwi?
Sa mga pamilya po, sa mga individuals na nasa evacuation centers, it is expected na may babalik na po sila today. No? Within the day, makakabalik na po sila sa kanilang mga lugar.
Okay, and what immediate relief does Pangasinan need for now? What resources to be able to get back up on its feet?
Well, what we immediately need, of course, for those who are still in evacuation centers are food packs and non-food items, aids, medicines. Pero po yung mga na-damage po na mga tahanan, syempre kailangan po nila ng mga repair kits sa kanilang mga bahay. At mga assistance that the national government could extend to the LGUs and provinces, malaking bagay po sa amin yun.
And yun po ay magiging provided by DSWD. Kayo po ba ay nasabihan na mabibigyan ng resources?
Wala pa po, no?
Wala pa,
I think
waiting
they're still
pa.
assessing, yeah. Nagsasabit pa po kami ng aming mga nakakalap dito sa ground. And then from there, we will have to communicate with them also. But we're expecting their assistance in the coming days.
And then yung mga pagbaha ho, kailan nyo po na-expect na huhupa ito?
Humupa naman na po, no? Sa mga nabanggit kong mga lugar, humupa naman po. Kasi ano po heightened po ito ng nung high tide, nung kasagsagan, doon po talaga nagsabay-sabay. Pero most of this, no, sa Lingayen, San Fabian, Sibimalo, no? San Fabian is subsided na, no? Lingayen is receding po, no? Kasi ito yung nasa Gulf area. And then nandun po yung Agno River, kaya po today, as reported, no, receding na po siya. Ang average height po niya is 2 to 6 feet.
So by tomorrow po, back to normal na ho. Except yun po yung mga nasirang mga kabahayan.
We're expecting na back to normal po tomorrow, no? Today is a massive clean up of our facilities, our roads. Kung merong kinakailangan po mga road clearing, ginagawa na po. Although, passable naman po lahat ng national roads po natin dito sa Pangasinan. Yet yung mga natumba po, mga kahoy, mga na bumagsak po ng mga branches, we have to clear them. And let me add, no, Gretchen, no, may mga areas pa rin na may power interruption. So, ang power outage po natin ngayon nasa mga mahigit 20 local government units pa. But the power co-ops are doing their best to restore, hopefully within the day.
Oo. Ano po yung dahilan kaya nawalan po ng kuryente?
Nagtumbahan po yung mga poste, tapos yung mga sanga-sanga po, mga kahoy, nabagsakan po yung ibang mga power lines. So they have to restore that, no? They have to repair.
Oo. So mukhang yun nga po yung nationwide problem, yung pagre-restore ng power lines. Hindi po kayo nag-iisa dyan, but it's good news, I think, that kayo po ay zero casualty as of the moment, and we hope it stays that way. In the meantime, maraming salamat po for your time and for giving us updates on the province, and we hope you receive the help that you need there. We have Pangasinan Governor Ramon Guico III joining us on Morning Matters today. In northern Luzon, Super Typhoon Uwan left a trail of destruction, uprooting trees, flooding communities, and triggering landslides across the Cordilleras. More in this report.
The powerful winds of Super Typhoon Uwan toppled trees and power lines in San Fernando, La Union. Several barangays were left without power. But this hotel faced more than a power outage. Its ceiling collapsed due to the storm's force. Residents living near the shore are enduring cramped conditions in evacuation centers.
Lumakas ng alon, sir. Kaya lumikas kami na para hindi kami ng bagyo.
In neighboring Pangasinan, parts of A.B. Fernandez Avenue in Dagupan City were flooded as Uwan coincided with high tide. Motorists were stranded, though some braved the waters. Livelihoods were also affected. Fish vendors said they had to harvest their bangus early before fish ponds overflowed, forcing them to sell at a loss. Bangus that used to fetch 200 pesos a kilo now sells for just 80 pesos. In Santiago, Ilocos Sur, several trees were felled by strong winds. Authorities immediately carried out clearing operations. A landslide occurred along the Manila North Road in Barangay Panshan, Pagudpud, Ilocos Norte. As of now, only one lane remains passable. Overall, more than 3,000 families across the Ilocos region were evacuated, according to the NDRRMC. In Baguio City, clearing teams used chainsaws to cut through a fallen pine tree along Barangay Padre Burgos.
May mga ibang bagyo pa na dumaan, mas malakas hindi naman bumagsak. Bigla na lang bumagsak. May parang nag-explode.
Another pine tree also fell along Bacaucan Road, hitting a delivery rider who fortunately survived. The fallen trees also damaged power lines, causing a citywide power outage. Some residents chose to check into hotels instead. More than 100 families evacuated, including Rodelyn Latuhan, who is pregnant.
Ang totoo po talaga, alanganin kaming bumalik kasi nga kunting ulan, kunting bagsak ng ulan na medyo malakas, talagang aapaw agad yung tubig doon sa kanan. Siyempre, yung bahay namin napapasokan.
Throughout the night, powerful winds and rain lashed the city. Session Road turned into a ghost town. Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong also made the rounds to inspect the situation.
We prepared for the worst scenario. Karoon ulit tayo ng meeting kanina na 3 o'clock para talagang ma-confirm natin and at the same time, i-review natin yung lahat ng mga preparation.
From above, this aerial shot shows the Chico River raging beneath the Pasong Lao Bridge. the water level reaching the red alert mark as of Monday morning. Flood waters submerged several barangays, including Barangay Kabaruan, where water rose above knee level, even inundating a local school. In Bontoc, a mudslide destroyed several homes after heavy overnight rains, though no casualties were reported.
And coming right up, the International Criminal Court says reports of an arrest warrant for Senator Bato de la Rosa remain unconfirmed. We'll discuss this with Attorney Gilbert Andres when we come back after a short break. Stay with us. Good morning, Impression One here in Morning Matters. We talk about the most pressing issues and give you the context behind the headlines. The ICC says it cannot confirm reports of an arrest warrant against Senator Bato de la Rosa. ICC spokesperson Fadi El Abdallah clarified that official updates can only be verified through the court's official channels, noting that only one case against former President Rodrigo Duterte has been opened so far. De la Rosa's lawyer Israelito Torion urged the public to be cautious, saying they have no independent confirmation of the report. And joining us now to help us dissect this latest piece of news, we have Attorney Gilbert Andres, an ICC accredited lawyer, joining us on Morning Matters. So welcome back to the show.
Morning, Gretchen, and to all your televiewers.
Attorney Gilbert, unang-una, help us understand the reply of the ICC to that piece of news dropped by the ombudsman saying na may arrest warrant nga that's out for Senator Bato, but they say they cannot confirm this piece of news. And ang sabi po nila, ICC news can only be found on official communications channels and press releases where you can see only one case to date has been opened against Mr. Duterte. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng can't confirm such news? Is that the same as denial?
Oo, ganito kasi, Gretchen, sa ICC practice, if there's a warrant of arrest issued for a suspect, yung information na yan ay sequestered muna. Kasi syempre gusto ng ICC ma-implement yung isang arrest warrant para sa isang suspect. Now, we can actually learn from the example, nung nangyari kay Mr. Duterte. I think it was maybe March 9, if I'm not mistaken, when the ICC issued an arrest warrant. And there was really no indication in the ICC website that there was already an arrest warrant for Mr. Duterte. But lo and behold, Mr. Duterte was voluntarily surrendered by the Philippine government on March 12. So we can actually learn from that experience, kasi gusto talaga ng ICC na implement yung arrest warrant kanino man nila ini-issue po ito.
Okay, so this response, in short, is to be expected from the ICC. Oo. Okay, and how do you think might we be able to confirm that an arrest warrant is indeed out? Ano kaya yung mga possible indicators na gumagalaw na po ito?
Well, there are two ways to know. Number one, if it's really officially published in the ICC website. But as of now, in fact, I've just checked the ICC website. Wala pong nakalagay na any arrest warrant for the Philippine situation aside from Mr. Duterte. Number two, the ICC will actually issue and will actually course through any arrest warrant through diplomatic channels, one of which is the Interpol, and it will actually reach the state of the nationality of the suspect. Now, it will be up to the Philippine government to confirm right now through diplomatic channels. It will be received by the DFA. But I think the DFA and the DOJ also confirmed that they have not received any arrest warrant from the ICC as of the moment.
Yes, that's the official statement of the DOJ. Spokesperson Martinez said the ministry is still verifying information that they've not received the copy yet. But speaking of the Interpol, si Senator Trillanes back in 2024 said that Senator Bato de la Rosa and 4 drug war cops are on the blue notice. So, ibig sabihin, pag may arrest warrant out, does this blue turn to red?
Well, yan yung terminology ng Interpol, Pero as I've said earlier, talagang it remains to be seen, whether or not meron na-issue yung ICC. And just to be very clear, Gretchen, on behalf of the victims, we actually hope that there will be an arrest warrant for Senator Bato de la Rosa, because in fact he was the one who issued Circular Memorandum 16-2016, which is off-land double barrel. But as of whether or not there's an ICC arrest warrant, to be very candid, I don't really expect it within this year, because the Office of the Prosecutor is actually very focused on the case against Mr. Rodrigo Duterte. But this is just my opinion. I really hope that it will be issued next year.
Bakit next year? Para matapos muna yung mga decisions when it comes to the pre-trial phase and the confirmation of charges?
Marami kasing mga issues ngayon dun sa case against Mr. Duterte, Meron pa nga yung issue ng kanyang fitness to stand trial, at meron pa rin yung confirmation of charges, At mayroon ding appeal on the interim release. Kaya I think kasi it's the Office of the Prosecutor who will actually apply for an arrest warrant before the pre-trial chamber. So my instinct tells me, because of a lot of the proceedings with respect to the case against Mr. Rodrigo Duterte, my instinct tells me that the Office of the Prosecutor has not yet applied for any arrest warrant aside from that of Mr. Duterte.
Because they're very busy over so many issues related to, I guess, fitness to stand trial and all the other things surrounding the former president.
Yes.
Okay, but why do you think would the ombudsman drop hints pointing to an arrest warrant? I mean, help us understand what might be the purpose of that, because doesn't that give the good senator time to strategize how to evade arrest?
I don't really know the reason of the ombudsman. Maybe it's aspirational on his part. In fact, it's also aspirational on my part and on the victim's part. But I think the best strategy really is bulaga na lang. Dapat i-implement na lang any arrest warrant issued by the ICC on the Philippine war on drugs.
Oo, hindi na sinasabi ng gano'n, parang bombshell,
Opo, opo.
Oh. Okay, but this is kind of complicated because Senator Bato de la Rosa is a sitting official. He is currently an incumbent senator. How might that complicate things? There were already indications that he could possibly stay in the Senate offices. Sabi naman ni Senate President Tito Soto, hindi nila hahayaan na may maaresto within the grounds of the Senate. Pero kapag lumabas na, wala na sa kanilang jurisdiction yon. So, ano ang possible challenges to an enforcement of an arrest warrant if it indeed does come?
Okay, that's a good question. We can look at it from two perspectives. First, from the perspective of the ICC. The ICC does not really consider the position of the person. In fact, even a head of state can actually be issued an arrest warrant against, like Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Russian President Vladimir Putin. So the fact that Mr. Bato de la Rosa is sitting senator of the Philippines is not a consideration for the ICC when it's actually considering an application for an arrest warrant. Secondly, let's look at it from the perspective of the Philippines. That's where the challenge is. Kasi I already know that there's a public statement that the Senate practice is if it's within the premises of the Senate, hindi ipapairal yung any arrest warrant even by a Philippine domestic court. But if that person, that senator actually goes out of the Senate premises, pwede po siyang ma-aresto, And in fact, it's really an appeal, to voluntarily surrender. Mr. Bato de la Rosa, if ever there is an ICC arrest warrant, and for him also to voluntarily surrender to the ICC and to face any charges before the ICC.
So if the senator wanted to, he could possibly live in the Senate premises for a very long time.
In the practice among senators, and in fact, there's really no legal basis for it except that it's really a Senate practice.
Okay. To live there. I think that happened years back. I know, but si Senator Ping Lacson nag-abroad po yan. So, that's also another recourse for Senator Bato de la Rosa. Tama ba? I mean, staying here, moving around the country would be very dangerous for him.
Pero ako na lang, kung talagang, di ba, sinasabi niya naman na siya ay matapang, iharapin niya kung anumang merong arrest warrant ma-issue ang ICC. Harapin na lang ni Mr. Bato de la Rosa.
Okay. Of course, another thing that complicates this is the Supreme Court has just approved new rules on extradition proceedings. In particular, I am able to read here that kailangan na siya dumaan sa korte ngayon. How does this change things? Because yun nga, there was so much controversy over how the former president was arrested. Hindi lumabas ang court order. Kinuha na siya, dinala sa airport, nilipad sa Hague. Some would call it extraordinary rendition or kidnapping. Pero ngayon, meron ng new ruling on extradition that there is a need for a certain number of days for appeals, last pleading and Court of Appeals before makapag-decide dito ang korte. So, your thoughts on that?
Okay, two answers, Gretchen. The first answer is that the rules on extradition proceedings does not apply to any ICC arrest warrant. Why am I saying that? Because if you look at the definition of extradition, and let's be very specific, it's in Rule 1, Section 3, Paragraph E of the rules on extradition proceedings. Ang context po ng extradition is that there is a requesting state. Isa pong bansa ang mag-request. And the ICC is not a state, it's an international organization. My second answer, because the rules on extradition proceedings does not apply to an ICC arrest warrant dahil hindi po state ang ICC, international organization siya. Anong applicable legal regime? So my second answer will be the Republic Act 9851. It's our IHL Act. Kasi sabi dun sa Section 17, Philippine authorities may voluntarily surrender any person within Philippine territory who's being investigated or prosecuted before an international tribunal. And this includes the ICC. At Section 17 RA 9851 is the legal justification for the voluntary surrender of Mr. Duterte to the ICC last March.
So wala kasi tayong extradition treaty with the ICC. That's what you're referring to. Tama ba?
Kasi, Gretchen, ang context talaga ng extradition treaty, it's between states. So like, for example, the Philippines and the United States of America. Meron tayong extradition treaty with them. Pero ang international organization kasi, wala siyang extradition treaty, ano? Let me just give an example kung anong isang treaty wherein this rules on extradition proceedings will apply, ano? The Geneva Convention. Kasi nakasaad po sa Geneva Convention na mayroon pong grave breaches at mayroon pong obligation ng mga state parties sa Geneva Convention, and it's all states in the world, including the Philippines, na either to extradite or to prosecute anyone who's being investigated or prosecuted for grave breaches of the Geneva Convention. Now, ang problema kasi, ang challenge kasi sa ICC, hindi naman po siya state. At ang regime po nag-a-apply doon sa international law ay ang Rome Statute. And in fact, ang aking argument palagi, nag-a-apply pa rin yung obligation to cooperate ng Philippines under Article 127 of the Rome Statute. Kahit nag-withdraw na po yung Philippines. At sa domestic sphere naman, ang legal basis for the voluntary surrender of any person within Philippine territory sa ICC, kung mayroon pong arrest warrant, is Section 17 of RA 9851 or the IHL Act.
Okay. So in your opinion, hindi po nag-a-apply itong bagong rules dito sa anything under the ICC. So ano pong mangyayari dyan? We can expect just a handover and coordination through diplomatic channels from the ICC to the Interpol to the DOJ?
Yes, we expect that, Gretchen, kagaya ng nangyari kay Mr. Duterte, And then, to the legal basis, we can actually just refer to Section 17 of RA 9851. Ang challenge kasi, wala pang initial na rules, with ang Supreme Court with respect to Section 17 of RA 9851. At dahil wala pang rules, our presumption is that because of Philippine state practice na yung executive mismo, to the DOJ and all of the other agencies ay nag-surrender kay Mr. Duterte sa ICC. Yan po yung Philippine practice. Kasi ang nakasaad naman sa Section 17, Philippine authorities. And that really refers to the executive, the president himself.
Okay. So, what are we still looking forward to in before the end of this year in terms of the timelines related to the case against the former president?
Okay, three big issues, Gretchen, Number one is still the fitness to stand trial. So it's an ongoing process. In fact, it has just been published that there was a defense challenge to one of the supposed appointed expert, And there were also responses from the Office of the Prosecutor as well as from the Office of the Public Counsel for Victims. So let's expect that hopefully within this year, the pretrial chamber can decide on Mr. Duterte's fitness to stand trial. And we really hope on the part of the victims that his fitness to stand trial will actually be confirmed. Secondly, there's an appeal on the interim release, so it's before the appeals chamber. So we expect also and we hope that that decision will be within this year. And third, maybe there can be an appeal on the jurisdictional decision. So we also expect that there will be an appeal on that, and we hope that this will be decided within this year. And of course, if the fitness to stand trial of Mr. Duterte is confirmed, then there will be a The fourth issue, which is the schedule or the confirmation of charges. At sa parte po ng mga biktima, sana po maging pamaskong handog na po ito. Sana with this year po nagkaroon po ng confirmation of charges.
Has there been agreement already when it comes to the medical professionals that are going to assess the health of the former president?
Actually, the pretrial chamber appointed a three-person panel of experts. Merong isang challenge ang defense with respect to one expert. So that will also has to be decided by the pretrial chamber. But there's already a three-person panel para po magsuri kay Mr. Duterte at mga eksperto po ito.
Would you have any idea as to who they're challenging and contesting about?
Mahirap mahulaan, Gretchen.
Redacted information?
Redacted siya, but it
okay.
refers to a she, so we expect this is a female expert, So talagang, hulaan lang ngayon, So mahirap din manghula na.
Oh, okay. Mahirap nga naman talagang manghula, lalong-lalo na pati na rin dun sa arrest warrant ni Senator Bato de la Rosa. But I guess we'll have to take it as it is. Maraming salamat po sa inyo for your time today in helping us understand the latest developments coming from the ICC. We have Attorney Gilbert Andres joining us, I believe, from the Philippines. Welcome back home.
Thank you, Gretchen. Mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Don't go away. More matters to discuss after a quick break. Keep it here on One News. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. Public Works and Highway Secretary Vince Dizon conducted an inspection of waterways, drainage systems, and flood control projects in Navotas. Here's the report.
Several areas in Navotas experienced massive flooding during the height of Super Typhoon Uwan. Residents were forced to wade through knee-deep water along M. Naval Street. Some even tried clearing blockages to help drain the streets. Authorities say unfinished segments of the coastal dike worsened the flooding, further intensified by high tide and storm surge. During his inspection in the area, DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon said he will request funds from President Bongbong Marcos to complete the project this year.
Halos 2 floors yung taas nung bato ng tubig dagat dito eh. So you can just imagine, ganun kataas, pasok lahat sa communities dito. Pumantay na yung tubig dagat eh. Kasi nga high tide, tapos may surge ka pa napapasok, so talagang umapaw.
The responsible contractor will also be held accountable to recover costs.
Yung isa, yung pag-aari ng high tone na barge na bumangga dyan, hindi pinapagawa. So syempre, kahit maliit lang, kahit sabi mo 20 meters lang yung hindi pinapagawa, lahat ng tubig doon papasok.
The DPWH also plans to construct a new navigational gate along the river near C4 Road to strengthen flood prevention in the area.
The Education Department reports that over 300 public schools were damaged by Typhoon Uwan. A situation report showed over 1,800 classrooms partially damaged, 366 heavily damaged, and 261 destroyed. Education Secretary Sonny Angara assured that the safety of students and teachers remains the top priority. Across 11 regions, more than 5,000 classrooms are now serving as evacuation centers. The Tulong Mga Kapatid Bayanihan Drive is uniting celebrities, volunteers, and partner companies to support families affected by recent calamities. Donors, including M-Quest artist Cedric Juan, Inday Fatima, and Ivan Lim, have already contributed items for an upcoming online selling event. Representatives from the MVP group of companies have also joined the effort, and the live selling event will stream on TV5's Facebook page this coming Friday, November 14, with 100% of proceeds going to the Alagang Kapatid Foundation.
So officially ang Tulong Mga Kapatid, parang sugod mga kapatid. So ito rin yung rallying people to help other yung ating mga kababayan. Pero alam naman natin na bago pa kasi yung bagyong Uwan, ay talagang sunod-sunod na mga kalamidad na rin ang tumama sa ating bansa. And talagang tuloy-tuloy lamang din yung efforts ng Alagang Kapatid Foundation. And dahil napakalawak naman talaga ng devastation, hindi naman talaga namin ito magagawa mag-isa. And we're very fortunate that our chairman, Manny V. Pangilinan, really mandated.
We have our concession area sa Metro Manila, but in terms, you're correct, in terms of relief operations, we go all out. For Typhoon Uwan, we have prepared an initial 6,000 pieces of 6-liter bottled water. Then the 3,000 we've already distributed through our sister companies, and another 3,000 allocated for our LGU.
So, syempre, ununa natin yung mga relief packs, no? Yung mga care packs na may pagkain para sa ating mga kababayan, lalong-lalo na sa Cebu, at namimigay tayo ng solar lamps din, no? Kasi maraming walang kuryente o naputo lang kanilang serbisyo ng kuryente para naman kahit paano matulungan sila kapag gabi, no? Dito sa Cebu, sa pamamagitan ng isang subsidiary ni Meralco na Meralco Power Gen, nakapagpamahagi dyan ng 4,000 na relief packs ang MGen sa iba't ibang lugar na naapektuhan ng lindol at nitong Typhoon Tino.
And that wraps up today's episode of Morning Matters. We hope we've given you the right start to your morning. Let's go ahead and make the day matter. My name is Gretchen Hall. Kapatid, we are One News, all sides, all the time.